Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Well, the Bulls were out and running today. We had the employment number that came out today, and the jobs number was 4.2, in line the employment number. However, the jobs created was about 177,000 jobs, but the revisions were less from the prior month. The market got all bulled up. They're hoping for a June interest rate cut because of the revisions of the slower job market here. And then we also had Apple had bad earnings last night, and the stock was really down most of the day, down over 3.5%, closed down about almost $8 here. Amazon was all over the place, down 4, up 3, up 2, and then end up closing down about 40 cents here. Amazon really not acting right. Caught a couple good shorts in Amazon towards the end of the day. But again, then news came out probably around, probably around the 1 o'clock, 1:30 time period that China is starting to, wanting to maybe talk about the tariffs. And boom, the S&P futures pushed up to new highs. Right around the 2:30 time period, the S&Ps and the Qs, the NASDAQ, pushed up to new highs. And then they faded off of that. I'll tell you right now, I've been doing this a long time. Just to give you some numbers, in 4 weeks since the April, what was the low here on the weekly? On the April 11th, since April 11th, in 4 weeks, let me give you some numbers here. The Qs were trading at 402.39. They trade as high as 490.91. Okay, up 88.5 points. All right, 4,000 points on the NASDAQ, north of 4,000 points. The spiders, okay, the low 481.80, now traded as high as on the spiders, 566.81. Okay, 566.81. So we go. Actually, the high was higher than that today. The spiders, let me just tell you here, it's about 85 points. So 568, 568.38 and 481.80. We're up about 86.5 points. So guess what? That means that the S&P futures rallied 860 points in 4 weeks. Okay, in 4 weeks. I wouldn't be long with your money here. I'll put it to that way. Okay. No way in hell. I've seen this before. I knew we were deeply oversold. I knew we would rally. Okay, everybody's hunky-dory here. You got 3 major problems on the horizon here. 1, you're getting overbought on the weekly into the negative MACD. 2, you have 4. 1, I'll start again. 1, you have the overbought condition into the negative MACD. Terrible pattern on the negative MACD on the weekly. That's 1. 2, you have the extreme overbought condition on the daily. 3, you have 4 major gaps below the market. 4 major gaps below the market, which I'll show you. 4, you're over 250 points, about maybe 200 and some odd points above the 10-bar moving average on the daily, the price to the moving average. Remember, when the S&Ps were trading near the lows of 48.80, 4,900, 4,920, we were over 500 points away from the moving average, right? Well over, extremely oversold. Probably one of the most extreme oversold conditions in the last year. Now, guess what? We're getting one of the most extreme overbought conditions. I wouldn't be long with your money here. You have a ton of overhead resistance, which is a 5th component here between 5,800 and 6,100. let me show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to show you some really great patterns for the day. First of all, this is the weekly chart. Okay. And you can see the negative MACD here. We just rallied from the low here, 481.80, all the way up to 468.38. This is completely, to me, non-sustainable. This pattern here, okay, I think we get one more push down here. All right. And I'll show you what I mean. Look at the spiders here. We're 20 above the 10-bar moving average. That's 200 points minimum. That brings you down to 5,500 on the S&P. All right. And then here you can see the algorithm 529, which is like, 52.90 and a half. All right, is where the algorithm reverses to sell. However, the daily, the monthly, and the weekly are all bullish. So I'm expecting a drop. Now, watch this. You have a gap here. Here's the gap from today. In 9 days, we've been up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row. 9 days in a row, we're up. 9 days in a row, we're up. GDP is worse than expected. I'm not saying they're all hoping that they cut interest rates here in June, but May is going to be a tough month. I think we fill these gaps. All right. I'm not saying this gap's going to get filled yet, but this gap should get filled here. This gap should get filled here. This gap should get filled here. The close 52.27. That's 52.70 on the S&P. 52.70. That's over 400 points from here. Okay. That's over 400 points from here. All right. So, and then this one here is 51. If you look at the close, 51.80, 51.30 right here, 513.88. This to me is overextended. If you look at stocks like Netflix, okay, look at Netflix, is over 108 points above the 10-bar moving average here. Completely not sustainable, if you ask me. Look at a gap here on Netflix, 970. Yeah. Do I think Netflix can get back down below 1,000? Absolutely. That's nothing in these names. Okay. Do I think there's buying opportunities in these names like Meta, Microsoft, and Netflix when the time comes? Absolutely. I do believe that's going to happen, but not now. We haven't even gotten an oversold condition on the dailies on these names. So today, when the spiders reverse to buy here on the 15-minute time frame, right here, it correlated. Here's the gap up. Okay, it correlated with the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. And here was the first pullback on the 15, 11:45. And then this was the real dandy of them right here at 1:45. And you can see this is the first and second pullback on the 15-minute time frame. Now here was so we had, normally you get anywhere from 2 to 4 great trades on the 15-minute time frame. Today you got 3. You got the first pullback right here on the 15. That was again around 11:45. Here's the second pullback here around 1:30, 1:45. And then the push up here at the 2:45 time period, 568.38. You can see you're getting overbought into these negative MACDs, and you can see the drop of over 20 points, actually 21 points on the S&P futures. So right now, in my world, we are extremely overbought. We went, like I said, over 855 points on the S&P futures, 85, 86 points, 88 points on the Qs in 4 weeks. That's insane. Okay. I think nothing has changed. The market did push down based on, over. The market always does it either down to the downside or to the upside. I still think that the market here is going to pull in. I think it's healthy, but if we get this nice pullback and then we get another rally here, I think between the next couple weeks to a couple months, we get this pullback, you get those gaps filled, and then I think it's up and away. Now, again, my target is 6,500. I think There's a great chance it could happen this year, if not the beginning of next year. But I still think we need to pull in, get oversold, get that daily up. And then I think the market's still going to have trouble getting through that 5,800 to 6,100 range. The high was 61.67 on the S&Ps. So I think the market's going to have a hard time getting up through that. All right. All right. Let's see here. A couple great patterns today here. Again, after the 15-minute time frames reversed. Apple, well, first of all, let's look at Roku. All right. So Roku had terrible earnings here. And you can see when Roku pushed up here on the 15-minute, I took the shorts. Now, this one I didn't take, but this was the first short on Roku on the 15-minute time frame. And then this was the second one we caught at the end of the day. We did catch this one here on Roku. Really great short patterns. Now, when the MACDs are turning positive and the algorithm reverses to buy right here, I knew that the lows were in for the day. So when Roku pushed down to the 58.55, I knew that this pattern here with the algorithm reversing to buy, that the lows are in for the day. And even you can see, even when we pushed up to 63, the oversold condition into the positive MACD actually set up a really nice long in Roku, and it pushed up roughly about nearly $1. However, this was the short pattern on the 15-minute time frame, because the 60-minute time frame was very bearish here. You can see Roku was very bearish on that push up into this negative MACD, big selling pressure. So when you had the overbought conditions here in Roku, I just turned to the 60-minute and I said, there's no way in hell. Look at this negative MACD on Roku and really great short patterns on Roku off the 15-minute time frame. I'm going to show you the 245 pattern on the 5-minute time frame when we make new highs here. When you're making new highs here, right here, you can see the negative MACDs. Now, Monday, the market's going to have a problem with these negative MACDs on the 15 and the 30-minute time frames. I pray to God they rally, because I would love to short them, all right? Because these negative MACDs are going to be non-confirming. When you have these negative MACDs on the 15-minute, and I'll show you here on the 30-minute, right here, I think the market's going to be in somewhat of a trouble here, right here. Also, so let me show you this 245 pattern. S&Ps, I was actually trying to short the market. I missed the S&Ps at that level. The push up here was 490.91. You can see the new high, the MACDs, the non-confirm on the 5-minute time frame right here. If you draw your horizontal line, the 5-minute time frame, the non-confirm, but also the MACDs are negative, and this is an absolute Picasso right here at the 245 time period. An absolute Picasso at 245 on the non-confirmation. MACD's negative on the 15, okay, and MACD's negative on the 5. Well, the MACD's did not confirm the high on this. If you look at this time period, the spiders, the Qs, NVIDIA, Avago, just throw a dart, AVGO, you can see Avago making new highs here. The MACDs did not confirm here as well. All right. Again, beautiful, beautiful short. And then when you get the overbought condition into the negative MACDs, this is a big problem. Big problem, especially when the MACDs are negative on the 30-minute time frames. You can see that this is a sell divergence in a positive trend. This is exactly one of my conditions based upon one of my strategies that I look at. Again, 5 conditions: a trend, a buy reversal, a sell reversal, a correlation, and a disconnect. 5 conditions and 2 strategies: a buy and a sell divergence. All right. Okay. Lilly, great pattern here on Lilly. Lilly reversed the buy here, correlated with the 30-minute time frame. Lilly, we caught a couple great shorts in Lilly today. Again, why am I shorting Lilly? Even though the 30-minute time frames were bullish, the 60 and the 15 were bearish. is because look at this pattern here in Lilly. Every bounce on with these negative MACDs right here, okay, was a short into the negative MACDs and the big selling pressure. So I caught more shorts. Yes, there were a couple of great longs in Lilly, but I preferred to take the shorts because of this negative MACD. Now the algorithm reversed to buy on the 60-minute. So all three time frames, the 60, the 15, and the 30, 15, 30, and 60 are all bullish. So Monday we'll look for some type of a pullback. But the pattern I wanted to show you was when the 15-minute time frame reversed to buy, you can see the 60 is still negative, and the 30-minute was still bullish here, the 30-minute time frame in Lilly. And when Lilly reversed to buy, this pattern right here was setting up a good long, and then it rallied around $6 or $7. So again, the first pullback on the buy disconnect, the 15 and the 30-minute time frames are in buy mode. The 60 was not. You take the first pullback on the 15-minute time frame, positive MACDs on the 15 and 30, and there you have it. So on Monday, we'll see if there's any type of a pullbacks here on Lilly against the 30 and 60-minute time frames. Let's look at Netflix here. So here we have Netflix today. Boom. You can see at 9:40, the 5-minute time frame. This is a beautiful pattern right here. 11:40 at 10:55 this morning. Netflix was trading right here 11:46.88, and you can see the move here ran about $6. Here's another pullback here. You can see the ADXs are rising at both the 15 and the 5. Beautiful patterns here in Netflix. And when you have these rising ADXs like this, you really just got to just think about just being long on every pullback. Here's another long 52. Boom, didn't run that much because now the MACDs are negative. Now, here's the high in Netflix. Let me see, is this the high right here at 12:05, 55, and it dropped about 4. Again, you're starting to get this negative MACD here, but this ADX has been rising, and then this was a really great long at the end of the day around the same time period. 52 on Netflix, pulled in nicely into the rising ADX, and you can see the push up to 59. So Netflix ran, roughly about little over $5.5, $6 on that pullback. And now you can see that the MACDs are negative, and this was a nice little short at the end of the day, but way too close to the bell. But again, the strategies and the patterns today was when the 15-minute time frames reversed to buy at 9:45, it correlated with the 30 and 60. The pullback on the 15 at 11:45, the second one at around 1:45. Gold didn't act that great today. Oil didn't act that great today as well. Again, I just think that the market is extremely overbought. I say let them have them, right? That's what I say. Palantir, complete animal, up about 7 today. Look at this Palantir. Caught a great long on Palantir. Couple really was looking more to shorting this. This is the pullback here on the 15-minute time frame, oversold into the positive MACD. It was down. We were looking below the 2180 for the long, and then it rallied here roughly about $2. This other long right here didn't get it. I was really looking for shorts, but once these MACDs turn negative here, I was just every time the MACDs just turn negative, you just look for shorts. When the MACDs are positive like this, you look for longs, and when the MACDs turn negative, you look for shorts. All right. Again, beautiful long here. Caught the long, and it pushed up. Didn't get the whole $2 run, but caught some of it here. Again, if you look at Palantir on the daily, I mean, this thing is in the stratosphere. You're 20 points from the 10-bar moving average. I remember the stock was trading 4 weeks ago. Look at this, 66.12 on the 7th of April. Now, the earnings are coming out on Monday on Palantir. So the names I'll be looking to buy going forward is Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, only on deep oversold conditions. I'm looking for a pullback on gold to the 3130 and the 3200 range. I still think gold is going to hold above that 3000 range. And but overall, a lot of great patterns today. We got to look at names like XYZ got hurt today. XYZ, that looked really ugly. XYZ, that's Square. Apparently something happened with their Cash App, and it just, look at it, it's down over 20% on the day. And if you look here on the 5-minute time frames, there was some, again, once the 15 reversed to buy, I knew that the lows here were in for the day. The low here was what, 44.27. So when the 15 reversed to buy, right here, when the 15 reversed to buy, I knew that the lows were in for the day. So again, this is a name I'll probably be looking to short once it gets, the dailies get to an overbought condition, but down 20% on the day in XYZ. Also, look at DUOL. This will be a name right here. Oh, my Lord. Look at this name here. DOUL. This is a name after the 15-minute time frame pulled in here, got down to 71. And at the end of the day, with the market rallying, this is another name to look at for the, and if you look going forward, let's look at the daily on this. You've completely broken out 118 points from the 10 bar. You have to wait for some type of a pullback on this on DUOL. All right. Okay. When I get back, I will tell you what I expect for Monday and any earnings that we're looking at and any of the economic data for next week. For this week coming up, really is not a lot. On Monday, we have the ISM number. On Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting. I don't think they're going to do anything about interest rates, but let me tell you what I expect here. We're really overbought here. The 30-minute time frames, I do expect maybe one more push up on Monday off these 30-minute time frames. These MACDs are now negative on the 30 and the 15. I say let them have them. I would not be long here, like I said, with your money. We've risen over 850 points on the S&P in 4 weeks, unheard of. And I will tell you, I don't see anything changing. However, I am short-term bearish, long-term bullish. Okay, remember that. However, right now, we're looking at the last sale on the spiders, 566.62. The sell reversal on the 60-minute time frame comes in at 556.62. That's 100 points lower. That means the S&P futures would need to trade below 56.08 and to be able to get the sell reversal. All right. The Qs closed 488.87. That means we need to close below 479.25 to get a sell reversal. These 60-minute time frames reverse, we get push up. If that happens, and then, but again, that's a long way away, 100 points from the S&P. Not out of the question. I don't know what's going to cause it to happen on Monday, however, but I do believe that the market is very overextended here. Again, I expect the lows that we saw, the lows are in for the year. And I do believe that the push down that we're going to get will make some type of a higher low. And then I do believe that we will look to make new highs in the third and sometime fourth quarter. Remember, always September is a very bad month for the market, sometimes August as well. May, they always have this BS nonsense, sell in May, go away. I don't buy it. Okay. However, I will tell you, I am looking at the market to fill those 4 gaps before we can go back up. And I show you those four gaps in the first segment. Bitcoin, way overextended here, over 20,000 points. We rallied from the 74,000 to 97,000. I still expect Bitcoin to pull in to make a higher low, maybe around the 80,000, 83,000. I don't think that 74,000 is going to be touched the rest of the year. Names to buy, again, like I said earlier, we'll look to buy this DOUL on the pullback on the daily, the Microsoft, Netflix, and Meta. Okay, and we'll see what happens on Palantir on Monday. All right, again, no big economic numbers on Monday. We have the ISM number, FOMC on Friday. We already had the CPI, PPI, durable goods, GDP, retail sales. Now we'll just wait for that in the second and third week of May. All right, that's what I expect. I do expect if we do rally on Monday and these 30-minute time frames get overbought, I say let them have them. But if we start dropping and we drop 40, 50 points on the S&P and these 30-minute time frames reverse to sell, well, that 57, 24 and 3/4 on the S&P should hold short term. But again, like I said, I am short-term bearish, long-term bullish. All right, when I get back, I would like to tell you something that I learned and that I want to share with each and every one of you. You know, I learned so many things from talking to people all around the world, and it gives me a lot of great joy that I do that. I speak to people, whether it's before the market opens, and I start my live stream, or on weekends. I have so many people to call over the weekend and talk to. It gives me a lot of great joy. However, what's really important is to be able to really be looking at the markets in a way and being able to figure out what's really important. What's important with someone to explain to me and to understand, the type of asset you want to trade, to learn. People from all around the world learn. Everybody learns differently. There's language barriers. There's people who are talking to me from Italy, France, Argentina, all over. And it gives me a lot of great joy in having that communication with everyone. But the one thing I will tell you is that in my member Discord today, so many people started asking a lot of great questions. And I have to tell you, that means a lot to me, to be really proactive, to be able to identify my 5 conditions: a trend, a buy reversal, sell reversal, a correlation, a disconnect, the understanding the strategies, the buy and sell divergences. As I told you, if you can master divergences, you've mastered the art of trading. And again, gives me a lot of great joy here. And I just want to teach as many people as I can. I did a call with a company in Dubai today, and I'm looking forward to talking to so many people from that region of the world. Talked to another gentleman today that has a big audience in Brazil. I would love to help people learn the forex markets in Brazil. But again, in the end, it's just about being consistent, learning, listening, asking questions, being proactive. I give my phone number out to everybody, and I'll give it again at the end of the podcast here. And I don't DM anybody, but again, the most important thing is for people to learn from me, to be able to achieve greatness and empower the art of trading. And if you can do this today, my community did a remarkable day, and I'm just so happy. It was a great end of the week, and I'm looking forward to Monday. But right now, I'm looking forward to seeing someone who his wife asked me if I can meet them for dinner. It's a special birthday surprise. He has never met me, and he's been trading with me for a long time. And she said, "Can you do me a favor? Can you please meet me for dinner with him tonight? He doesn't know. He'll be completely surprised." And I said, "Absolutely. I'm going to go home and change my shirt, take a shower, get over, and I'll come over and see you at the Jupiter Beach and Resort." That gives me a lot of great joy to meet someone who's taken the time and the passion, never met me before, spoke to me a couple of times, and his wife said this would be a great birthday present for him. So that's why I'm going tonight. Anyway, so have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy your family. Most important, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please leave a comment. Follow me on social at official Stephen Kalayjian on X, Instagram, and TikTok. And again, please, if you would like to join my community of traders from all around the world, please go to my website, sktrading.live. By the way, you can text me at 914-500-7484. Have a great weekend, everybody. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.